This is another one that's super important that is not talked about enough. So whenever you're lifting weights, whether it's bench press, squat, deadlift, anything, your muscles get a lot bigger. What's going on, YouTube? My name is Max. I've been lifting weights for about 10 years, and over these past 2 years, I've lost about 130 pounds. My goal with this channel is to help you guys gain confidence in the gym and help share what I've learned. So today we're going to be going over my pre-squat and pre-deadlift stretching routine. But before we get into that, please like and subscribe to the video. It helps the channel a ton. And with that, let's get into it. All right, so before we get into the actual stretching routine, I want to go over a couple things to make it so you understand why you should be doing this stretching and why it's important. So first we're going to go over is injury prevention. Now this is absolutely huge, and this is probably the one that most of you guys know about, but I want to re-emphasize just how unbelievably important this is, because I've made the mistake many times in the past, just doing a couple warm-up sets, feeling myself, feeling good, going to my heavy lifts, boom, I tear my pec, boom, my hips messed up for the next few months, can't squat, can't bench, whatever it ends up being. Happens to me multiple times. I have to go to physical therapy, costs money, costs time, and it costs you, obviously, you're not gonna be able to build as much muscle. So I would even go as far as to say that if you don't get injured, you're gonna build more muscle long-term, because obviously that's more time for you to be lifting weights and not recovering from an injury. And number 2 on the list is gonna be building more muscle. If you can squat to proper depth, or you have better form on deadlifts, whatever it ends up being, you're literally gonna be building more muscle. The reason why is whenever you squat to proper depth on a squat, you're gonna be using more glutes, and you're gonna be using different muscles than if you just go either halfway down or if you just go to parallel. Whenever you go to that really deep booty to grass squat, what ends up happening is you end up using your glutes instead of just your quad muscles. And then also when it comes to deadlifts, if you're gonna be doing a proper deadlift form, you're gonna be using your lats, you're gonna be using back, you're gonna be using legs, hamstrings, and you're gonna be incorporating more muscles, creating an even more compound lift. Number 3 is gonna be joint health. This is another one that's super important that is not talked about enough. So whenever you're lifting weights, whether it's bench press, squat, deadlift, anything, your muscles get a lot bigger than your tendons and your joints do, a lot faster. So with that, you have to be able to train those tendons and stuff like that individually while you're stretching if you want to keep them strong so you don't end up getting injured. Because even if you have perfect form on everything, if you never work on the tendons, then there's a good chance that those still can get torn regardless of your form. So whenever you're going to do deadlifts or you're going to be doing squats, I always give myself at least 10 to 20 minutes where I can really focus on stretching and making sure I'm properly warmed up before I go into it. So I always will do 3 main exercises to help warm up my hips. So some people would think that you need to warm up your legs, you need to stretch your arms, your back, whatever it ends up being. To me, that is the least important thing. While you can still stretch those, I think you will get enough stretching doing warm-up sets with those types of deals where you won't get it with your hips. Because to me, my hips, especially if you have a job like me where I'm sitting down all the time, where my hips are just tight as can be. So I always spend a good amount of time to work directly on my hip flexors to make sure I have good flexibility whenever I do these compound lifts.
All right, so the first one I'll show you guys is the 90-90 stretch. I've been doing these basically for about a year now, and they've helped me tremendously with my hip flexibility. You basically get on the ground, you have both knees at a right angle. You basically go down like this while raising your back foot. I don't know if you can see it over there in the back. And while you go down with your upper body and you try to get basically your head to touch that front knee, and then you try to raise your back leg up at the same time. Now if you can't do this and you're not flexible enough, it's fine. Just focus on staying in that upright position with your front knee touching the ground and keeping an upright posture, and then that should work good. I recommend holding for about 30 seconds on each side if you're doing it where you're just holding it at the top. But if you're going down, I'd go down for 5 seconds, hold it at the bottom, and then back up and do that 5 times on each side. Next on the list is going to be getting pounded in doggy style position, aka the frog pose. As you can probably tell why I call this one getting pounded in doggy style. But this one is absolutely fantastic for opening up your hips and causing immense amounts of pain. This one you just want to do feet flat on the floor, forearms on the ground, and you push back with your waist basically as far back as you can with your legs wide and having your head on the floor. Hold this in the back position for as long as you can basically tolerate, but about 30 seconds should be good. Alrighty, and for the last one I'm going to be going over today is just a type of lunge stretch where you go into a really deep lunge, kind of put your hands on both sides of your leg that you're lunging to, and kind of go as deep as you can, push your hips forward, and really should feel a deep stretch in your groin area. Again, this one extremely painful, but absolutely great to do so you don't get injured when you go in to do your actual deadlifts or your squats. And then basically what you do is hold about 15-30 seconds on one side, swap, same thing, 15-30 seconds on the other side.
All right, y'all, thanks for watching. If you guys have any other muscle groups you want me to work on and try to make videos that help you stretch beforehand, like if you have struggle doing pre-bench press and you want to work on like your shoulder rotation or something like that, post below. I'll make a video on that. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.